were able to withstand anything. And I know everybody's grieving. I know everybody's hurt, everybody's sad, because while she was only one person, everybody had an individual and special relationship with my mother. And so I don't want people to be sad to the point where you miss out on all of the great memories that my mother gave to every last one of us. Because when I saw my mother's body yesterday, and y'all know we had to get her with the hoop earrings. Y'all know. When I saw my mother yesterday, she looked like herself. And what is in the casket is nothing more than a shell. And in all shells, whether you're talking about seashells or vegetables or fruits, they all contain seeds. Some fruits and vegetables contain one seed, some of them contain many seeds. And I firmly believe that when a person passes on from this life, you can measure the amount of seeds that that shell contained by how many people they positively impacted. All right. And judging by this turnout, my mother bared many seeds. And each one of those seeds contained a characteristic that when the shell was gone, it was released into the atmosphere.
Come on now. Come on, bro.
And it found fertile soil. And when you look at the word soil, S-O-I-L, we got taught in school that is A-E-I-O-U and sometimes Y. So if we take the I out of soil and replace it with you, you get soul. So my mother's seeds went into the souls of every person that she positively impacted. My mother was a giver. So when I want to be reminded of my mother's giving attribute, there goes my Uncle Leon.
Amen.
There goes my big cousin, but more like my oldest brother, Little Leon. And anybody that knows those two, you know you ain't gonna find a better heart than that. My mother had a way of making her presence known anytime she came in the room. So when I want to be reminded of that seed, all I need is to look at my baby sister Tashonda. And if y'all know Tashonda, you don't know Tashonda when she get in the room. You know Tashonda when she's in a parking lot. And of course, when I want to be reminded of my mother's beautiful features, there go my big sister Candace right there. There goes her beautiful mother, my grandmother Dolores, right there. And Lord help me, I didn't realize I had so many nieces and nephews. But I really want to say that I love you all. I really appreciate you all coming. And what brought about this situation today? It is very unfortunate that my mother was taken from us by my father. And we have to do a better job as a society of protecting women. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the reason why the world is in the state that it is in is because of our mistreatment of the woman. So there's no such thing as a real man until a woman is held at the peak of society. And so my mother was taken by my father. And I've been training my mind for the better part of the last 5 or 7 years to always think problem, solution, problem, solution. How do you convert negative energy into positive energy. And I've been supping with God. Not a God that I heard about, not a God that I believe in, but a God that I know.
All right now. Come on now.
And I hear a lot of people, Muslims, Christians, everybody saying that they believe in God. But belief is merely a stage.
Hello.
At some point in time, either you know the God that you've been talking about, or you really don't know him.
Right. You better say it.
And so I've studied the situation. And I tried to find God's hand in the situation. This situation was 100% avoidable. But like my uncle said, God has two wills, an active and a permissive. But his most active is his permissive. And my father's name is Marcellus Garvin Sr. I'm his junior. And so you could imagine how hurt we all were when we heard this. But God took negative energy from one Marcellus. He took negative energy from one Marcellus, and he used a better Marcellus. To eulogize my mother.
Yeah. Speak it, Em. Speak it.
And so I'm always going to miss my mom, but I know that my mom was prepared to go.
Yes.
Because, you know, my mom, by God's grace, she's been clean
She has.
for 2 years. But those 2 years felt like 200. Because God is so beautiful that he allowed us to see my mom at her best.
Yes.
Because really and truly, my mom could have passed away years ago. But God knows what we can handle at what time we can handle it. And I know I would not have been able to handle it. My siblings, we would not have been able to handle it, my family, if she would have went in that state, because that was not Ree at her best.
Right.
But when I would go and I would visit my mom in that state, I remember one night that I had a dream that she passed away. I didn't know the manner in which she passed away, but all I know is I had a dream that my mom died. And so I talked to God, and I just wanted him to spare my mom's life long enough for her to know that she made men and women out of her children. And so that's the reason why I can honestly say I'm not sad, because God didn't have to give us that time. That time wasn't for her, that time was for us. My mother was loaned to us by God. And if you paid close attention to her, you were able to see God living vicariously through my mother.
Yes, you were.
Drugs, domestic violence, all of these things that plague society and our community in particular, those are not easy things to bounce back from. But when you have someone that does that, You gotta give them their flowers while they're alive. And so I'm gonna close it down, but I just really, really want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. And I know it's a lot of sadness in here. And, you know, I really, really wish that I could just, you know, take everybody's grief away, because my mother was so full of life and she left us so much. There's really no need for us to look at this like it's a loss. At the end of the day, one day, all of us are going to make our transition. We hope that it is peaceful, but nevertheless, we are going to check out of here one day. Some of us believe in heaven. Some of us call it the ancestral plane, whatever have you, but just know that this is not it. So I thank you all. I love you all. And on behalf of my mother, I know she's on the ancestral plane, and she's looking down, like my uncle said, like this. And you know, she always expressed how proud of us she was. She always did that. She always did that. And everybody out there, if your mother is living, make sure you don't make an excuse to call your mother and just tell her thank you.
That's right.
Because I don't understand for the life of me how you have Muslims who will pray 5 times a day, every day, to a God that you've never met. And you got Christians that don't forget the pastor's anniversary, but you forget your mother's birthday every now and then.
Come on now.
But the woman who birthed you, sometimes we throw her to the wayside. And the reason why I can honestly say I don't have any regrets is because all the way up until my mother's last days, I talked to her. And I had all of these different things in mind about what I wanted to do for my mother, and I would tell her, you know, Mom, when I get where I want to be in life, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z for you. My mother would always hush me, and she would say, I don't want nothing from you but to make a man out of yourself. And with everything that my mom went through over the years with my dad, she never wanted any of us to turn out like him. And I think more so me, because she named me after him. And it might be hard for y'all to believe, but when I was little, I was a little bit of a troublemaker. And I don't know if my auntie Norma Jean is here, but she used to always say that he gonna be all right. She used to always say that. And I'm just so thankful, you know, how God works. And he turned my life around, he turned my mom's life around. And I can't thank y'all enough for showing up. And I love y'all.
Love you too, man.